Probably there is lack of awareness. Yes, of course it is lack of awareness. Second is that, you know, media houses, you have to really understand that media, when you talk about media, media is not a single cohesive unit. So various people take stand according to their own policies. But yes, we do report when there is a disaster happens. But what we should do to preempt or prevent disaster, that we are not very, you know, we don't have that focus there. It's true that, slowly we are getting up because India is very disaster prone. Just December we had this Chennai flood. Before that, Uttarakhand flood, tsunami. There are many things. In Odisha is very disaster prone. In everything in the coastal areas are this. But as and when, whenever the disaster happens, we do try and report. We go for even 360-degree coverage. As I said, when I say 360-degree coverage, we call them saturation coverage. So we make pages, we try and educate people, we rope in experts to talk about it. But as I said, public opinion is, how do you create a public opinion? You create a public opinion through media. Now, media has to be also sensitized in this particular aspect, especially in the field of disaster management, DRR, and disaster risk reduction and all. Because media can't act arbitrarily, A. So, people who are working in the field of disaster management, they have to come, there needs to be an engagement, an engaging conversation with the media, so that media gets enough sensitization so that they would also in a way try and report about it, because public policy is shaped by media, policy decision is shaped by media. As I mentioned, that a small hyper local news gets national prominence, international prominence, because of the media coverage. So if we have to report something which is going on in Kathmandu, or maybe an obscure place in Nepal, probably if there is a good story, if there is a proper display, it could be across the world. Maybe Brussels would get to know, maybe UN would get to know, everybody would get to know. Then there is no end to it. But for media, another thing that I would like to point out is that one has to be very, very responsible while reporting, because creating a misconception or spreading misinformation is the biggest danger during a disaster. So media, editors, reporters, journalists, entire journalistic fraternity, they have to use their prudence, their best ethical practice before putting out any story or adding their views.